Hello, lovely people from all over the world. It's nice to see you here at the Entirely English YouTube channel and our latest series on superstitions in the UK. Today was going to be a single video on wedding superstitions, but aside from the 4 or 5 I knew when I came to research it, I found that a lot of the traditions we have are based in superstition. So this, I am afraid, is going to be 2 videos again. Sorry about that. I did want to get them all on one. But I hope you'll find it interesting. And we will begin, well, at the beginning, which is the proposal. Now, I think this is more tradition than superstition, but we'll throw it in here anyway to begin the proceedings, as it were. The man traditionally proposes on one knee. He gets down on one knee, looks up at the bride and says, "Will you marry me? Will you make me the happiest man in the world?" That sort of thing. The tradition supposedly goes back to the days of the knights again, when the knight came before his lords and ladies as in gentry, not as in the fairies we had in the last video. He would go down onto one knee to show his obedience and devotion. And so this same gesture became the gesture that they used to propose. It was like saying, "I am your servant. I am dedicated and devoted to you." It's not really a superstition, not really a good one to start off with, superstitions, but I thought, let's start the marriage as we mean to go on. The next tradition, which is rooted in superstition, is the stag party. The Americans call it the bachelor party. There was a really good Tom Hanks film called The Bachelor Party. We called it the stag party. And I suppose about 40 years ago, hen parties became popular. The stag party was when the groom, the person who was going to get married, gathered his male friends together and they went out. Nowadays, they go to nightclubs, they go to restaurants, they go to Prague and drink lots of beer. Strip clubs used to be very popular. Hen parties, the same sort of thing. The girls get together, the bride-to-be and her friends, and go to nightclubs, restaurants maybe, also the strip clubs. Anyway, where did the stag party idea come from? Well, actually, they have their roots in ancient Greece, where before a man got married, he would have this celebration with his friends and family. And the celebrations included some rituals like sacrifices to the gods to ensure blessings on the wedding. In Britain, the stag party is a celebration of 2 things: the end of this person being single, being free, and the celebration of their commitment to the wife. And the hen party is the same idea: the end of the girl being single and her becoming a wife, creating this new partnership. And because they are with their friends, normally their best friends, it is also part of the superstition that this will ensure that they will have a happy marriage, surrounded by friends always. Now, before we get into the actual wedding, we should look at when the wedding should happen. And there are various superstitions about when you should and should not get married. One superstition that I believe originated in Scotland but is common all over Britain now is May is the worst month to get married. A May bride is a doomed bride. Some people speculate that this is because in ancient Rome, May was the feast month of Lemuria, which was the festival of departed souls, the dead. For the Scots, it may come closer to home than ancient Rome, because Mary, Queen of Scots, made her wedding vows to the Earl of Bothwell. That was a doomed marriage. And in fact, excuse me reading this because I don't know Latin very well. The Ovid line, mense malas meo nubera vulgaris a, is written or scrawled on the walls of Holyrood Palace. And it translates to bad marriages are made in the month of May. This belief is so prevalent that the Registrar General, who keeps a record of births, deaths, and marriages, reported that the month of May had the lowest number of marriages every year. Possibly the most well-known superstition is that Saturday is the best day to get married. I don't know if we'd class this as a superstition. Really, it's about the fact that most people don't work on a Saturday, therefore more of your friends and relatives would be able to attend the wedding. However, Friday the 13th, dun dun dun, as you might have guessed, is considered the unluckiest day to get married. We talked about Friday the 13th when we looked at our numbers superstitions. Back to lucky, while May is considered doomed, June is considered the most blessed month to get married. Juno, the wife of the king of the gods, was the goddess of marriage, women, and childbirth. So you get double blessings there, June and Juno. Now, regarding days to get married, rather than dates, a rainy day is considered a good day. Illogically, you might think, because everybody wants sunshine and beautiful weather for their wedding. They come out of the church and the petals of rice are thrown. You don't want it to be raining. But apparently, the superstition holds that rain on your wedding day will bring wealth and fertility. And this obviously goes back to the days of the agricultural Britain. Rain meant more crops, more produce. Therefore, fertility and wealth. And thereby it was considered that the higher power, the gods, pagan gods, or the Christian God, were blessing your union with the rain, making it fertile and prosperous. So the last thing I want to talk about on this first part of the video is the bride's costume, what she wears and why. Now, obviously, everybody knows that the bride generally wears a white dress. They say, well, there's two reasons for this. One, the white dress symbolizes purity and innocence, the virgin bride, as it were. But guess what? We're going back to the Victorians again. Queen Victoria wore a white satin dress for her wedding. And so it became popular, it became the fashion, and it's never lost that. Obviously, these days, people want to be independent. They want to do away with their traditions and superstitions. I mean, many people don't even get married nowadays. The white wedding dress it's like the centerpin, the linchpin that holds the whole wedding together. The white wedding dress is so symbolic. Most people don't even think about Victoria. They think about this purity and innocence. Young maiden entering into marriage. As I said, nowadays people wear pretty much anything and they don't even get married in churches. But one thing that is still strongly believed is the bride should not wear red. It's not only a bad omen, as in a symbol of bad things to come. It is believed it would attract devils and demons to follow you around. So your marriage would be unhappy from the beginning. Okay, there's actually quite a lot to discuss with what the bride wears, so we're going to chop it into. We'll start the next video, continuing from here. I want to end this one with the traditional something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. It's not just a rhyme. This is a superstition to bless your marriage. The bride should have something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue. Each of these things is a symbol, a token, bringer of blessings. Something old should be usually given by the bride's mother or father, and it's to show continuity, continuance. Something old that still survives, your marriage will continue to survive. It gives it strength, and also blesses the future child of the bride. Again, it's this idea of continuity from the past through the future. The something old could also be a sixpence, an old sixpence. And that's something we'll talk about in detail in the next session, the next video. Sixpences have a lot of stories within the superstitions of weddings. So remember the sixpence, we'll come back to it next session. For something new, might be given by the chief bridesmaid or some friend, and it's to symbolize optimism for the future, for the life the new bride and groom are going to create together. The beginnings of this happy marriage. The something borrowed is normally something loaned to them by a happily married couple. So a couple who are really happy, really have a good, solid marriage, will lend something to the bride to wear or carry during the ceremony. And it's like sharing their look, sharing their fortune with the bride and groom. So you're borrowing their look, borrowing some of their blessings. And there's something blue. This could be a blue ribbon, a blue flower, a blue ring, anything blue. Blue is a nature color of purity, pure water, pure skies. It's also one of the colors that is associated with Juno again, the goddess of marriage and women and childbirth. So we get that extra layer of blessing there. Just as a footnote here, Princess Diana at her wedding to Prince Charles had a blue bow sewn into the waistband of her dress as the something blue. Here's a little task for you. Answers in the comments, please. What were the things that Diana had that were something old, something new, and something borrowed? Can you answer those questions? So we're going to end it here. Part 2 will be up very soon. And thank you for your attention. Do, again, comment. Let me know if these superstitions and traditions leading up to the wedding are the same in your country, or if they're very different. Because as we saw, some of these come from Rome, some from Greece, possibly even further back. So maybe you have the same traditions or variations on them. Let me know. Okay, if you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button. And if you want to stay up to date, if you want to catch the next part of this when it comes out, click subscribe. Do please share this with anybody you know who'd be interested. And please do come back. I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a good week. Stay well. Bye-bye.